Alright, so we're going to get started on this project. So we're going to do what we did in the rest of the projects and create a new folder called BizLand. And I just want to bring everything from the theme starter over to our new folder. Okay, and then let's put this up here, and I'll go ahead and open this with VS Code. Of course, you can use whatever you'd like. And then the index.html I'm going to open with Live Server. Alright, so now we just have our theme starter. Let's pull this down a little bit. Okay, and now what we'll do is let's change the title here to BizLand theme. And what we're going to do in this video is the whole image, the showcase or header, whatever you want to call it, with the nav bar. So let's get rid of this H1 here. Let me get rid of this too. And inside the body, let's put a header, and let's give it a class of main header. Now we want an overlay over the image, so I'm going to put a div here with the class of primary dash overlay. It's just what I like to call my overlays. And then if we had another one with another color, we'd call it secondary overlay. Now the navbar is going to be fixed, and remember, if we want a fixed navbar that is going to kind of scroll down with us, it needs to be wrapped in a div with the class of navbar fixed. And then inside here we put our nav. Okay, and this is going to have a class of transparent because I don't want it to have any background. So let's put a container in our nav bar, and then we'll put our class of nav wrapper. You guys should start to remember these classes, you know, because we're using them in just about every project. And then we want our branding, so it's going to be an A tag with brand logo. We'll have it go to home, and then let's just put in here for the text, we'll just say BizLand. Okay, then we want our button collapse, so it'll be an A tag with the class of button dash collapse. And it's also going to have another attribute of data dash activates, and we'll call this mobile dash nav. Okay, and then inside here we want an icon with the class of material dash icons, and we want the menu icon. So if I save that, we're just going to get a transparent nav bar so far. Alright, now underneath the button collapse, we're going to put the UL, which will have a class of right, because we want all the links to float to the right. And it's also going to have a class of hide on, MED, and down. We want it to hide on medium-sized screens and less. Okay, and here we'll have an LI. Let's put our links here. So this will actually no class. Let's see, it's going to go to hash home. And then what I'm going to do is copy this LI. So we want, let's see, let's do 2, 3, 4, and 5 of these. So this one will be about. This one will be testimonials. And let's see, this one here will be contact. And then this last one is actually going to be a button. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just for show. It's the download button. So it'll have a class of BTN, and let's give it a class of blue, and it'll say download. Alright, so we'll save that. Now for the side nav, remember, if it's a fixed nav bar, the UL for the side nav has to go under this div, or it's not going to work. We won't be able to click on it. So this div ends right here, so we're going to go right under it, and let's say side nav. Whoops. So that'll be a UL with the class of side nav and also an ID of mobile nav, because that's what we used above. And then in here, what I want to do is put an H4 with the class of blue-gray, and let's also do darken-3 and let's center it, and that's just going to say Bizland. And then under that we'll have our links, which are going to be these. So I'm going to copy all of these except for the download button and put those inside here under the H4. But I actually want to put a divider between the two. So right here, let's put an LI and then an A with the tag of, or a class of divider. Okay, it doesn't actually need an href. Now, in order for the sidebar to work, we have to initialize it. So let's go down here and let's say class button collapse, and we want to call dot side nav like that. And we'll say init side nav. All right. So now what we're going to do is work on the main image, the background of all of this. So you can go into your project files and you can get the images. So I'm going to open up my Bizland folder, go to IMG, and I'm going to paste in the two images that are included. So paste these in, and just to take a look, so we have the showcase JPEG and then we have the people JPEG. Those are the two images for this project. And then what we'll do is go to our main CSS, and we're going to add the CSS for the header to have the image background and all that, as well as the primary overlay. So let's do the main header first. So it's going to have a background, which is going to be a URL. We're going to go outside of the CSS folder into the image folder, and then we want showcase.jpg. And then under that, we're going to do a background size and set that to cover. Let's do a background position, and let's set that to center. We want to center the image, and we want to do the height. Now for the height, we're going to use VH, or viewport heights. And what you can do is you can think of the height as 100 different slices, okay? And we can say how many of those slices we want. Now those slices aren't going to change no matter how big or small the browser is. It'll always take up that amount. So this is how we can do a full screen landing page and have it always be full screen no matter the size. So I'm going to say 100 VH. All right, and I'm going to set a minimum height of 600 pixels. I don't want it to be able to go under 600 pixels. And then we'll set the text to white. And let's set the position to relative, because we're going to have the overlay inside of it, which is going to be absolute. And anything absolute has to be inside of a relative positioned element. So we'll save, and you can see it takes up the whole screen. Now if I did like 50 VH, it would take up 50 of the 100 slices. So VH is very powerful. We also have VW, which is viewport width, so you can do the same thing going horizontal. So now the image is too prominent. We want to kind of dark it down a little bit with the primary overlay. So let's add that. I'm actually going to put that up above. Alright, so primary overlay, we'll do the background, and it has to be RGBA because we want it to be able to be see-through. So the color will be, the RGB will be 63 red, 57 green, 77 blue, and then for the alpha, for the opacity, we'll do 0.7. Okay, we want to position it absolute. And then inside here, we want it from the top 0 position and the left 0 position, and we want it to spread across 100%. And then also height should be 100%. We want it to take up the whole thing. The overlay should just do just that. It should overlay the image. So width and height should be 100%, and we'll set the overflow to hidden because we don't want any scroll bars or anything like that. So let's save, and there we go. Now we have our overlay. Okay, so let's add the content, the showcase content. So we're gonna go, let's see, it's gonna go under the UL right here, still within this div. We'll say showcase. So we'll have a class of showcase. Let's also give it a container. And inside here we'll have a row. It's going to be a full column grid. So we're going to do col S12. And let's also do a custom class of main text. And then in here we'll have an H5, and it's going to say you found the, and then an H1, and it's going to say right place to start. Just some corny marketing text I came up with. So we'll have a paragraph with flow text to make it bigger and make it responsive, and then it's going to say to take your business to the next level with our services. I can't spell and type. Services that have taken companies to the Fortune 500. Alright, probably misspelled something, but that's fine, doesn't matter. So let's put a line break underneath, and then we're going to have a button, a learn more button. So it's going to be an A tag that's formatted as a button. So BTN, let's also do BTN large. Let's make it white, and let's make it have black text. Alright, and then it's going to go to hash about, and the text will just say learn more. Alright, in addition to that button, we want to have that icon as well, that little icon to notify the user that they can scroll down. That's going to be wrapped in a link with the class of white text, and it's going to go to the contact if they click it. Okay, so now inside the A tag, let's put an icon, material icons. We also want it to be medium sized, and then the icon itself is going to be arrow. It's going to be arrow underscore drop down underscore circle. Alright, I'm also going to give this icon a special class of scroll dash icon because I need to grab onto it within the CSS to position it. Okay, so let's save, and there we go. Now we need to fix this up a little within the CSS. So I want this all to be pushed down. So let's grab the showcase. So main header showcase, and we're going to add a padding top of 110 pixels. So that'll push it down. And then let's see, we want to add the positioning for the scroll icon. Oops, icon. It's going to be positioned absolute. Remember, the header is already positioned relative, so that's what we're using as a parent. We want to say from the bottom it should be 5% up, and then from the left it should be 47% over. And let's set the opacity so that we can see through it a little bit. So we'll set that to 0.5 and save, and there we go. Alright, so I think that that's good for now, so I will see you in the next lecture.